Annyeonghaseyo. Hello, and welcome to the very first interactive session of ISRK Group. I am Shikha Dubey and currently pursuing PhD at Guangzhou Institute of Science and Technology and one of the volunteers at ISRK Group. So before starting the interaction section, I would like to tell you about the ISRK Group. So ISRK stands for Indian Students and Researchers in Korea, a voluntary support group for all Indian students and researchers are currently in Korea for educational research jobs and social re-credentials and community service purposes. And the mission of this group to establish the largest community of Indian students and researchers in Korea with a strong engagement and interaction opportunity, and to promote a better life for Indian students and researchers in Korea. So today, the idea of this group came from many successful researchers and research professors, from many Indian researchers and research professors and postdocs currently working in Korea. So let's move on to our first interaction from ISRK group, that is UST, Korean. This is a scholarship provided by Korean government for international students. And let's welcome our today's speakers for this interaction. Mr. Muhammad Saifuddin, please introduce yourself.
I'm Mohammad Saifuddin. I came to Korea through UST Korea International Scholarship Program in 2016. This means this month I finished my PhD, and I have been the UST Indian representative for international students in 2019 to 20. So yeah, that.
Thank you, Muhammad Saifuddin. Let's welcome our next speaker, Ayantika Banerjee. Please introduce yourself, Ms. Ayantika.
Hello everyone, I am Ayantika Banerjee. I came from India and 2018 January, and in Korea Atomic Energy Research Institute. So my major is quantum energy chemical engineering, and my work is related to the nuclear engineering based on nuclear chemistry. So right now I am the kind of my finishing line of my PhD degree, and I am so much glad that people actually considered me as a speaker for this panel. I would like to introduce UST from my side. Thank you.
Sikha, audio is not coming.
Ms. Apurva Gupta.
Hello. Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. I'm Apurva Gupta, and I am an integrated PhD student at UST, and my major is biotechnology, and I have just completed one semester yet, so I'm just a fresh candidate here. Nice to meet you all.
Thank you, Apurva. Welcome. And let's move to our last speaker, Mr. Murshid Shams. Please introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. I hope you can hear me. I'm Murshid. I have been in Korea since past 2 years. I am studying in the Korean Institute of Industrial Technology. My major is industrial technology. I'm working on turbo machinery and CFD fluids analysis, and that's mostly mechanical engineering part. So hello, was I audible?
Yeah.
Thank you, Murshid, and welcome. So let's start our interaction session. Before starting, I would like to mention you all are free to ask any question whenever you want. Please inbox in chat, and after the session, we will have the question answer session, and you can ask anything you want. So Mr. Muhammad Saifuddin, please share your screen and let us know about this UST program. Thank you.
Actually, this person will be said by Ayantika. Yeah.
Okay, Ms. Ayantika, please share your screen and let us know more about this scholarship.
Okay, so could you stop sharing your screen? Then maybe I can be able to share my screen.
Yeah, sure. ask anything you want in chat, and our volunteers will answer your questions.
Okay, so is it visible right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so visible.
And I'm audible, right?
Yeah. Make it slides
Yeah.
full screen.
Okay, so I already introduced myself as Ayantika Banerjee, and I joined UST in the year of 2018, January, and currently working in Kairi, Korea Atomic Energy Research Institute. So after Mohammad Saifuddin, I became the UST representative from 2020. So I want to give a brief introduction about University of Science and Technology in Korea and the international scholarship program. So what is the identity and the special effects of UST? That UST is a national research institute which is based on graduate university. So here we can see their UST students and UST professors, and here the students are also considered as researchers because we are student researchers. And so at UST students consist graduate students plus researchers, and UST professors are also professors plus researchers, and both of them combined and make into that graduate university plus research institute. So it's kind of, you can able to work as in a R&D sector, as you will get the experience certificate after completing your degree, and you can do your to complete your degrees with full courseworks. There I also put a box where you can actually understand that what is the utilization of National Research Institute for the infrastructure of higher education. So here you can actually participate the national R&D projects. That's kind of an awesome thing what I found before coming here. So as you are a graduate student, but you can able to know what is the national projects and the R&D projects and how to participate all these things and how to perform for completing a project. So somehow by doing your degrees, although you're students, you can able to experience all those research areas like a employee, like an employee or a postdoctoral fellowships or something like that. And here I can say about the accredited degrees. So there are kind of 4 degrees you can do from UST. The main degrees are master degrees, integrated program, which is MS plus PhD, and the doctoral degree. And here also come about the internships. So if you want to do internships, like you are doing PhD or you are doing masters from other universities, or you are doing bachelors from other universities like in India or anywhere of this world, and you want to experience the internship program by conducting by UST, so you can apply there and you can come here for maybe 3 or 6 months. And I think later on, Apurva can actually explain about this internship program, because before joining UST, she came here for that internship program. And the main campus of UST located in the Daejeon, South Korea. The headquarters is in Daejeon. And there are 33 national research institutes under UST. So all these national research institutes are based on different area of specialization and different subjects. So it is easy to understand that which subjects or which background you are coming from, and you can actually apply on that institutes related to those of your majors. And this is the timeline of your application. So there are 2 rounds of application in 1 year. So the one is spring semester. The online application usually starts from August or the middle of August, and the procedure will start from September. And then if they will select you, then you have to come here by the last week of January. And the second semester is fall semester. And there the online application starts from usually January or end of the January, and you have to apply from that time. And if they will select you, then you have to come here by August. There are so many majors, and we people are also come from different majors, as we have bachelors or masters on different majors or bachelors on different majors. So they actually divided the area of specializations, including all majors, and they also divided those schools or institutes based on these majors or specializations. So about these schools, there are 9 schools. And there are 6 areas of specialization, but I think Saifuddin can enhance this slide more when we'll talk about it, because he knows a bit more about these schools and how to apply on those schools and how you can find your majors from these areas of specialization. And also you can check actually the UST website. They give a clear elaboration about these factors. So where is the semester and tuition fees? Usually for master's degree, you have to complete like maybe 32 credits, and for PhD degree also. And for degree program, it's maybe 52 or 56. 56. So the thing is that when you will complete your coursework, before completing your coursework, you have to pay the semester fees. That is 2 million. 2.5 million Korean won, and if I will convert it to Indian currency, then it is around 1,50,000 something around. So this much of payment semester fees you have to pay for 6 months, and when you finish the coursework, you don't need to pay anything to the university. So, but the thing is that you don't need to worry about the tuition fees, because the institute is actually giving you the salary. Like the master's degree, you are going to get the 1.2 Korean won per month, plus full tuition fee, means that would be like 1.8 million Korean won. And for PhD degree, you are getting 1.6 Korean won per month plus full tuition fees. That means it's almost like 1.9 Korean won per month. So also, although the scholarships are a bit different by institute to institute, but these are the basic lines. So you are not going to get any lesser than this. And that is kind of a confirmed things, and you don't need to worry about the tuition fees or salary or anything. So you can get that kind of confirmation of all these things when you are studying here. So there are also other benefits about this UST. The first one I want to elaborate about NHIS, that is National Health Insurance Scheme. So here, after joining here, you can get that NHIS, and you will be under that national insurance, and they will cover all kind of major problems if you have faced anything. And thing is that well, every year they will give you the chance to check up almost full of your body, and that is from a literally good hospitals, and with free of cost. So this kind of, I think, a good opportunity that when you are in a foreign country, if you face any kind of physical problems or something like that, you can just contact UST headquarters, and you can get almost everything on free of cost. And the second one is YSRP, that is the Young Scientist Research Program. So as UST wants to motivate us a lot, or sometimes they want us to be determined to the project or to the research work. And I know that research, doing research for a long time is kind of mundane sometimes. So it seems boring. So they actually try to go for some kind of programs which can actually motivate you for your research. So one is Young Scientist Research Program. While you are doing, you will complete third semester of masters or PhD, then you can actually able to apply for this program. So for this program, you have to write your own research proposal, and then you need to present the research proposal to UST. And if UST like your proposal, then UST will give you a good amount of as a grant to conduct your own research. So this is something really good or kind of attractive, that you can actually able to learn how to write a research proposal, which will like enhance your future life. Like when you apply for postdoc or when you apply for PhD, already you knew that how to present your own research proposals. So that's actually good. And the third one is student exchange program. So while you are doing masters or PhD from here, after completing, maybe from PhD actually, after completing third semester, you can apply for student exchange programs. Like you are searching for other universities or other campuses in different countries, and you can find that another country, another department is doing the same work like you. So you can actually talk to that professor, and then maybe you can make your own proposals that why you want to go there, and how you can actually enhance that project or that aspects of project, and then you can apply for the student exchange programs. And if your professors and that professor will allow you to go there, then you can get the full grant from UST. So if you will go somewhere like in Europe or UK or US or wherever you want, for 3 months, maybe the total grant would be done. The total grant has been given by UST. Like you will get the staying cost or the flight cost and everything. So that is actually, I think, as a kind of a glamorous thing you can have, or you can have that experience. And the internships, and actually before I told that about internship, Apurva can elaborate some more things because she experienced a lot about these things. And the last one is international conferences or seminar. So if you will be selected for any international conferences and you want to go somewhere else to present your paper or your own work, then I think then UST actually, if UST will allow your work and UST will be pleased to see your work, then they will provide the grant eventually to go and join the conferences, including flight fares, staying cost, and conference fees as well. So there are two more things what I don't want to elaborate more, because one, Saifuddin can elaborate much better than me. That's how to apply, and how you can go and search for the institutes and the measures and the semesters. And Apurva can actually explain about the internship program. So here I want to stop myself and thank you.
Hello. So from now on, I'll be explaining you about how to apply for this scholarship program. So like before coming to Korea, I was also applying in the same conventional way, like reading papers and finding the professor names, relevant papers, and sending them emails by searching the corresponding author's email ID from the paper and sending them email. So by coincidence, my email dropped to my professor, who was my supervisor. So he introduced me with this scholarship program. So after coming here, like I came to know that there is a very easy process through which we can know about different professors and different domains in all the fields, whatever is available. So is my screen visible to everyone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so here we can see, just we have to type UST Korea. So after that, something like this will come. So here we have like two websites. One is like in Korean. You can again make it in English. So here you have to go to the majors. After going to the majors, you can see there is options like campuses. About campus, I would like to simplify one thing, that just like CSIR in India, we have different labs throughout India, like in each field. Like I was working in a CSIR lab in Bhubaneswar, as I am from Odisha. So it deals in materials and minerals. So similarly, in Hyderabad, we have cell and molecular biology lab. In Delhi, we have National Physical Lab. Pune, we have National Chemical Lab. Similarly, in Korea, all the government labs have merged together to give this scholarship program that is called UST Scholarship. So if you will go here, you can see all the name of the campuses. So like almost every domain in science, engineering, and technology you can find. Means every kind of institutes are present here, almost 32 different institutes. So the other way I can, sorry. So by region also, it is, they have subdivided it by region. Yeah. So by specialization, if you'll go, you can see by specialization, like if I will go to biotechnology, like initially I was from biotechnology. So in biotechnology, you can see many other domains, like here, like if you'll go to biotechnology, you have to go down. There are different things which are given, but the most important thing here is professors. After going down, you have to just click on professors so that you can see the list of professors who are working and their exact field of research also you can get. So there are many such pages, many professor links are given here. So you have to just expand any of the professor related to your field. So here you can click on it. So you have to just verify this thing so that you can get the email ID of the professor. So it's quite easy to find professors. So similarly, you can do the same for any subject like for this one also. You have to just click on professors and here you go. So you will be able to see their research interest and you can send them emails. So like every institute have many professors, many researchers, but only the professors whose name are listed in this website are able to take students. The other professors, like if you'll go to any like here, if you'll see like Korea Aerospace Research Institute, if you are going to the website and searching professors for PhD program, maybe they are not allowed to take PhD student, but they have only selected the professors and put it in that UST website. So it will be easier. You don't have to send random messages, emails to everyone. So this is the way how you can easily approach professors, email them. Thank you.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
Yes.
Yes, please.
Actually, my question is to Mohammad Saifuddin, sir.
Yeah.
Please go ahead.
Sir, actually, sir, my name is Sangram, sir. I am from Odisha and I am doing my master's in NIT Rourkela, sir.
Okay.
Sir, what is the language preference required to go for Korea, sir, for higher studies?
This is one of the most important things. Sorry, we missed it. It is mandatory to get an IELTS score or TOEFL or TOEIC before applying for. And the most important thing why we are conducting this session today is that the notification of UST this time will be coming in March 3, and the online application will start from March 18, I guess 15 or 18. So, and the application will be over by April 18.
Hello, everyone. Please.
Sorry, everyone, please mute yourself. Hello, please mute yourself.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like today is 28th of February, and the application will start from March 15 and it will end in April 18. So almost we have like 50 days time in our hand. So if anyone is applying for IELTS exam, and they can get the result in 15 or 16 days, then it is really possible to get appear for the exam and get the result and apply for this program. Because I had also done the same thing. Like I appeared for the IELTS exam, which was available in just 10 days. And as you are already studying in NIT Rourkela, you know that the medium of instruction there is English, and you won't have to like worry about that exam. The pattern is very easy. I will recommend IELTS over TOEFL. So it's quite easy. Like the requirement is also 6.0 out of 9. They don't expect you to be getting 6.5 or 7 like in European countries. So 6 you can, I think you can easily get it if you are choosing any date nearest, in any nearest date. Then you can get the scorecard and apply for this application process. And one more thing I would like to add, that whatever I told you, like how to approach professors through this website, even if you are not doing that, I know some people who just applied through the online process. Like when the UST online process was open, they just submitted the application form with all the required documents. They did not approach any professor at that time. Maybe their resume was really good, so they were selected in the first round, and they were offered to choose for their professor. Like they did not have to apply. UST offered them to select professor from the list of professor who had fundings. So two things, there is two kind of approach to apply for UST program.
Thank you, sir. Now I would like to call Apurva for letting us know about internship program. And after the presentation will be over, we will welcome all the questions. Thank you. Apurva, please share your internship experience.
Okay, so I came to Korea in 2019 for the global research internship. This internship lasted for about 2 months, and this internship is not only for biotechnology, it is also for all the other institutes in under UST. And this allows international students, not only Indians, but like all sort of international students, to come and mingle and get a real taste for what UST is like, and what the institute of their majors are like. And during this period, it was like, I feel like internships are the best time to actually evaluate whether a place is really good for you or not. You can understand like Korea as a country, if it's good for you or not, or you can understand about the institute if it's a good match for you or not. And during that time, I really was able to explore different aspects of biotechnology, things that I wouldn't have done at my university, because it's such a hands-on experience of doing research on like using the latest technology they have here. And that time I was an undergraduate student, so like undergraduates as well as postgraduates both can, as well as graduate students can apply for this internship. And I made really good friends as well. It's a great time to meet a lot of international students, because you're often with the whole group of international students as well. And yeah, like it's the support provided by UST during that time is also phenomenal, because they provided a full expense in terms of airfare and like your living costs, and just so that you just have a good time when you're like trying to figure things out in a new country, in a new place. And the kind of support you get at UST, I kind of found it unmatched from other places that I've been. And yeah, apart from that, like to actually immerse us in the whole Korean experience, they also took us around to like a different city for a cultural experience, like a whole day out, and they allowed us to interact with other experts and stuff. And the whole experience was very rewarding, and which is why I have come back to be an integrated master's student here. And I would highly recommend trying that internship if you're not sure if this is the place for you, so that it's like a trailer for what's to come. And I'm sure you guys will enjoy it if you do try.
Thank you, Apurva. Thank you for.
I have one question to Apurva Gupta, ma'am.
Sorry. Please wait after the presentation.
Okay,
we'll
okay,
ask
okay,
that
sure.
question. Please wait. So I would like to welcome Murshid. Please, Mr. Murshid, share your experience about UST scholarship.
Hello guys. First of all, I apologize because I'm attending in my mobile. I'm actually traveling. I'm stuck in the worst traffic in Korea.
That's
So
okay.
apologies in advance. So I was working in IIT Madras as project assistant under Dr. Abdul Samad in Ocean Engineering Department. And actually, Dr. Samad recommended me to join UST. And my present professor was colleagues with Dr. Samad, and they actually recommended me. And roughly, I did not know anything about Korea. I just know there is a Seoul, there's a capital. I know nothing about the country, know the language, know the culture, nothing. And then I had one senior who was working in my same lab in Korea. So I contacted him. He's Mr. Aryan Sonawat, Dr. Aryan Sonawat from Rajasthan. So I contacted him and asked him like, okay, how is Korea? How is the life? How can I live there without knowing the Korean language, and how difficult it is the living in Korea, because it's entirely cultural difference and the language difference. Everything is different. So you'll have that cultural shock when you come to Korea, but soon you will be, going along with the flow. So when I came to Korea, then everyone was very supportive. We have actually called orientation program of 1 month, or maybe 3 weeks. That orientation program actually helped us learning the Korean language. They teach the basic Korean language and different Korean culture and Korean etiquettes and different stuff. So it actually gives us an introduction of living in Korea. And we made some great friends from there. And then after the orientation, we moved to our respective institutes. And working in Korea is actually a lot of research and less of academic stuff. We do more of research projects, government projects, and all sorts of that. We go for business meeting, we go for client meeting. We are working like in a company, but we do the PhD alongside. So as Dr. Saifuddin said earlier, that you get your experience certificate as well as your PhD degree at the end of 4 years. So this was a great opportunity. It's like an industrial PhD. And then I have been enjoying this so far. I've completed my 5th semester, and I think maybe 1 or 2 more years I will complete my PhD degree. And then I think Korea is a great country to live. Even if you are vegetarian or non-vegetarian, it doesn't matter. You can live in Korea easily. Only in Korean restaurants, maybe you cannot have a vegetarian option, but you have all the options to cook. And I think everyone can live easily in Korea. You don't have to worry about a different country or anything. It's totally safe. And yes, so you can ask any questions about living in Korea and all those.
Okay, thank you, Murshid, for joining us. So now we will welcome all the questions you guys have. You are
Shikha, you are not audible.
Hello, can you guys hear me?
No.
Hello.
Yes, you're audible.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you, Murshid, for joining us today. Now we will welcome all the viewers to ask any question they have regarding UST scholarship. Please go and ask.
Yes, ma'am. So
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello. My question is to Murshid, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
Hello, Murshid sir. Sir, how much is the stipend? How much is the scholarship given to the PhD students? And I want to know about the amount of the scholarship. Is it sufficient, or that means? Please elaborate the structure of the scholarships and fee structure of the PhD.
Okay, I believe you have attended Ayantika's presentation. So UST scholarships for master student and PhD students are different. For master student, they get around 1.2 million plus the tuition fee. So all total, my friends who are doing masters are getting almost 1.8 million. That is more than 1 lakh rupees in India. And for PhD students, the basic pay is 1.6 million plus the tuition fee. So I'm getting almost 2.3 million. That is almost 1.4 lakh in India. So that is more than sufficient for your living in Korea. You can actually save from your PhD stipend. I hope it's clear.
Okay,
Oh, excuse me, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Ayan Das, you wanted to ask something, please?
Yeah, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Actually, ma'am, I am doing my master's from IIT Hyderabad. So actually, I'm planning to go for doing my PhD in abroad. So as Apurva ma'am say that it would be a great opportunity if we can do the internship for 2 months and get the taste over there, that how the research work is going on over there and the lab facilities are there. So ma'am, for doing this internship for 2 months, will they provide us the scholarship, or do we need to mail individual professor for getting those internships?
So the way I applied it was through another platform, but a lot of the people who were in that internship had to put into their application, and there was a list of professors you could choose from, and from there you can apply to all those professors based on your preferences, and then you can based on like your application, the professor will choose you or like reject you. And about the scholarship, yes, they do give you enough money that you can live by. So they give you around, if you're an undergraduate student, then they will give you around 900,000 won. And if you're a master's student, they will give you 1.2 million won.
But ma'am, from which website I will get this kind of information that these professors are taking interns from other countries?
When they're opening the global research internship application, they also give their list of professors. So I'm actually not sure if they're doing it this year because of Corona, and because they had to cancel the internship program last year. But the information, they have a pinned up page for the news and new events that are coming, and they always have the global research internship application period over there as well. So on the homepage.
So I will get this global research internship program from UST website itself.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem.
Excuse me, ma'am. Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yes,
Yeah.
Suraj.
Yes, ma'am. I have one question, and it's baffling me that how different their course structure is from ours in India. For example, let's say if I'm applying for, let's say, master degree or internship, so how can I test myself whether I'm at their level or not? How can I know about their course structure, like what they have taught their BSc students, like bachelor students? Because I have heard that every country have their own course structure. They are kind of different. What they teach is a bit different than what we are studying in India. So that's the thing.
Okay, I think I can answer this question. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yes, ma'am, loud and clear. Please, ma'am.
Actually, I described in my slides that you are going to apply for master's and PhD or the integrated program. So the thing is that there are some coursework. So obviously, you have to complete those coursework and those credits during your degree. So you have to understand one thing that I have described before, that this is the research institute, and you have to complete the coursework, or you need to take all those credits which is related to your field. On that field you are working, or you will work for as a master thesis or the PhD program. So the institute also provide some courseworks, and your professor can open some courseworks. So you can actually take those courseworks which can enhance your knowledge about your degree. Like you will gather those knowledge to, and then you can actually you can actually apply those knowledges for completing your research work. And the second thing also, there's a literally awesome thing about the UST, that if you find some another courses from other universities, like you are working in some institutes under UST, but you are thinking that there are so many universities in Korea, like KAIST is a great university, and then SNU and Hanyang University. So if you feel to take any courses from that university, you can take that eventually. So there are lots of opportunities you can take or you can get. And the thing is that you need to choose by your own self. Like there is no any kind of burden or something that you have to take these courses. Maybe some courses you would take under your professors, but other thing is only up to your choices. Like you have to understand which credits you should take or which course you should take, which actually help you to provide a good knowledge about your research work. Is it fine?
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Yes, yes, ma'am, it is. Just one more thing. So, ma'am, suppose that there is something which I haven't studied in my bachelor's, but their students have, and I don't know about it. So if I apply there, so it won't create a hindrance in my like research work, right? I can learn it even when I'm there. Right?
Yeah, but one thing you need to understand that here the master is also research-based master. So you need to actually focus on your thesis, like the project you are working on, right? So
Yes,
it's totally different from your bachelor's. The master's or the PhD program is totally different from your bachelor's. The bachelor's, we actually need to study a lot of subjects, a lot of branches, but you have to do focus on a specific branch. Okay, so then you need to understand for focusing on that branch or doing work on that major field, what should learn more. So then you can find some courses that could be provided by UST, that could be provided by other universities. You can take from anywhere you want.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.
My question is to Saifuddin sir.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
Sir, is it mandatory to have paper publication for PhD along with our IELTS score?
It's not mandatory, but like if there are 4 or 5 applicants in under same professor, then they have to see something, right? If there is one applicant who is having 2-3 papers and one is having no papers, then they will definitely go with. But one more thing is that if you have a very good recommendation letter, which I have experienced in my case, one guy had lots of paper, but I know one professor, he was hesitating to take him because his recommendation letter was not that good. So if your recommendee is writing a good a recommendation letter for you, then, and if your university CGPA and everything is good, then it will really help you.
Okay, thank you.
I have seen people without any papers. They have like in university, many students have come without any paper.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Sir, according to you, sir, what should be the CGPA criteria that this much CGPA will be better, or it can be a safe side, we can call it?
Actually, the thing is like they don't disclose the minimum criteria, means CGPA required. They have like 2 processes, like first selection, then second selection. For first selection is like documentation, all these CGPA and everything. But I have even seen a person who has got admission with just 5.9 Indian CGPA out of 10. And I have even seen people who are having like 9 CGPA, they did not get it. So what is the actual, like Ayantika's friend, he was applying here, he could not get in UST, but he got in Texas. So what is the criteria? We don't know. Even he applied for 3 times in UST. So what is the criteria? We are really unsure, but the thing is like they have some like minimum should be like 6. And if you have research papers, the professors stress, like most of if you are writing to professors, then professor also has the ability to decide which student he want to take. So like it's up to 50-50 to UST and professor. So if you are able to impress the professor, then it will be a positive sign for you. Yeah.
Okay, sir. So suppose if I have 2-3 papers, but the case is that in those 2-3 papers I am not the first author, I may be the third.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
They don't expect you from the masters to have like
Korea,
in Korea and Europe, they know that we have a research-based master's program, but in India we don't have generally, except like some of the universities like VIT and some other universities, they really do research-based master's program. So they know.
Sir, you are mute, sir.
Yeah, like if even if you are last author or third author or second author in any SCI paper, they will consider this.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yes, I have question to Mohammed.
Yeah.
You said like in the 2 months period we had to complete the IELTS at TOEFL.
Yeah.
At that time only we had to complete, or before also we complete that TOEFL exam.
No, if you have any IELTS score, then it's really great. Like because IELTS score is
Okay,
valid
I mean.
for 2 years. Yeah, and
Okay, that is
TOEFL
right.
score is valid for 5 years. So anything you have, you
Okay.
can apply. Yeah, I'm saying for
Okay,
those
thank you.
who don't have and they want to apply. So for them, I told
Okay.
that we are conducting this session prior to the application process timeline. Yeah.
Okay. That score 2 years, it's valid, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. It's a 6 is required. Minimum is 6.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Good evening. Yes,
Good
sir.
evening.
Sir, I wanted to ask, like, I am doing undergraduate, I'm in engineering undergraduate level. So I was asking, so I wanted to do the internship program. So, sir, do we have to have the IELTS score for the internship program also?
Maybe Apurva can answer this correctly.
Okay.
I think it will give you a better edge if you do have an IELTS score with you. The thing is that I applied because I have studied in UK before, so it was easier for me to apply without having to give an IELTS score. But I don't think the internship requires an IELTS score for you to apply.
Ma'am, one more thing, like, do we have to have some prior experience on some project or some research paper? Like, I'm in undergraduate level, so do we have to have some kind of experience also, so that?
Not at all, not at all. You can have zero experience. I had zero experience when I applied and I joined my lab, and that was the place where I gained most experience and was able to apply to other colleges as well. Thanks to that experience.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
No problem.
Hello. Hello.
Yeah.
Hello. Shikha ma'am, I want to talk with you, ma'am. Actually, ma'am, after the ma'am, can you please share the contact details of the mentor so that I can contact the guidance in future?
Sorry, I couldn't hear you. Can you repeat yourself, please?
Ma'am, actually, I requested to please give contact details so that I can contact with the mentors in future preference, ma'am, for the guidance in the future.
I think Sapuddin can share the guidelines for that. Saf?
Yeah, actually, we'll be making a Telegram group just for UST ISRK program. So just for a UST application
So
program,
right now
we
I'm
will
going
be
to share
the
So
link.
right now I'm going to share the link where you can ask a question and we will share the guidelines there. And
Yeah,
let
yeah.
us know if you have any other question regarding that. Thank you. So we have few minutes left. So
Hello, sir. Hello.
Yeah.
So my question is to Mohammed, sir. Sir, actually, in the MTech, sir, in the MTech program, sir, there is a provision to go for a 6-month internship. Either it is in Indian university or abroad, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, can you please give me the exact way to apply for the internship and successfully get the internship in the Korean universities? Sir, I want some tips from you, sir.
I again will recommend Apurva because she came to UST through this internship program from UK, Glasgow. So she can explain it better, like how she applied for the internship program. So Apurva, can they apply for like MTech 6 months program, the last semester project they can do in UST?
They can apply, but the internship I went for was a global research internship program, which is only for 2 months. But so the 6-month program is a separate one, which I am not quite sure how to apply for. I'm sorry. But
I'm
for
sure
the
there is one, like I know there is one program for 6 months project also.
yes,
We'll be searching the link and sharing with you guys.
Okay,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay.
Share it with us.
Hello, sir. Sir, where is the Telegram link will be available?
Iqbal bhai, Iqbal sir.
Hello, it's already shared on the group chat box. Please check it.
We already shared.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
the link. I will share it again. Here you go.
Yeah. And the same thing, I guess, who missed the session from the start, they can watch it or can recommend it to your friends also in our YouTube channel. We will be sharing our YouTube link also. The same, this session will be uploaded in YouTube soon.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, for further questions,
Hello.
we stay connected.
Yeah.
In our
Hello, sir.
group.
My question to Muhammad, sir.
Yes, sir.
No, sir, I did my postgraduation in organic chemistry on the University from Andhra Pradesh.
Yeah.
And I have 1 year industrial experience, sir.
Yeah.
And I cleared CSA, NET, and GATE exam in India.
Wow.
I experienced that I qualified that exam. Any help to get seat UST scholarship?
The only exam you need is like English proficiency test. It can be IELTS, it can be TOEFL, it can be TOEIC, anything. And your profile really seems good. You can apply and hopefully you will get it.
Okay, sir. I am not cleared any TOEFL and IELTS exams, but I cleared CSA, NET, and GATE, and I have 1 year experience also.
Actually, they just want to confirm that you are good at English. This is not about knowledge or your research background or academic excellence. It is not about that. It is just about your English proficiency. So yeah, so like those who are from native English countries, they don't need to show this scorecard. But as we are from India, so we need to submit this result. It's just a formality. Your professor will not see the score. Just UST needs the academic section and need this scorecard. So it's like there is nothing you can bypass through this process. So you have to apply for and after talking to you, I can say that you can easily pass it. Like you can easily get 6 out of 9 with just 15 or 20 days preparation. IELTS is really easy to crack as compared to TOEFL.
Okay, sir. Sir, what are the documents required to apply UST fellowship, sir? What are the documents I have to ready before application starting?
Like for IELTS, you need especially you need IELTS, and for IELTS you need a passport. You need to have your passport with you, and for this UST you need to have your documents like prior examination documents. Like if you are applying for PhD, you should have master's certificates, and you should have transcripts. You can't show your mark sheet. For international universities, you need to submit the transcript. So if you are applying, if you will go to the controller of examination department of your university, they will provide you a transcript of your mark sheet. So you can submit your certificate and transcript. Everything you have to just scan and send initially, but after coming here, after getting selected, you can submit the original thing. They will verify and return you. So, and your resume, like what are your CGPA and how much you scored in IELTS and how you have any experience and whatever you are saying, you can just jot it down and submit it.
Okay, thank you, sir.
But I would like to ask one thing. Can you please clarify about the minimum score of English? Like so many people have been asking, do they need
Yeah.
minimum score or just any score is fine? They just need to submit their score with.
The minimum score for IELTS is 6 out of 9, 6.0 out of 9.
What about TOEFL?
TOEFL, I don't remember. I guess it is 80.
Maybe
I will confirm.
Ayantika or Apurva can confirm it.
About the TOEFL score, I have no experience. About IELTS is 6.0. And the one thing I want to say about this English score that those students who actually are willing to apply for USC scholarship from now, so I want to request that please go for IELTS or TOEFL, because as I heard, I'm not sure although, that UST may not accept TOEIC score anymore from next application. I'm not sure, but it is a possibility. So I think I just want to request everyone to go for TOEFL or IELTS.
And Saifuddin, sorry, would you like to also tell, is there any like application fee? There are a few questions about that too.
Yeah. The application fees is like 30,000 Korean won. It is around $25 or something. So it will be less than 2,000 rupees, Indian rupees. And initially, like 4 or 5 years ago, it was free, but now they are charging 30,000 Korean won. So it's, as compared to other universities, it's quite low.
So how many times can they apply for this program? Like, is there any limit?
Yeah,
Is there any limit about this?
Every next semester you can apply. The important thing I want to share about what I came to know after staying in UST for 5 years is that for each institute there is a criteria. Like in this semester, we are able to take only 5 international students. Okay, and there are applications from 25 students, so they can only take 5 students this semester. So they have to choose among those 25 students to select only 5 students. So maybe due to some reason they did not select you, but they wanted to select you just because of the constraint of the institute, not university, but of institute. They had to reject you. Maybe if you will apply, or if you are in good contact with the professor, they will accept your application in the next semester. So it's better not to get harassed or means mentally feel low. You can apply next time also, you can get it. Like my friend, she got it after 2 applications. So it's quite like very normal.
So generally there is no limit, like you can
No
apply
limit,
as many
no
time
limit.
as
Yeah.
you want until you get accepted, right?
Yeah.
And
Sir, what is the duration of PhD in Korea?
Minimum 4 years.
Generally.
Generally, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I finished my PhD in 4.5 years.
Depends on the professor to professor and lab to lab actually.
Yeah.
But
I actually can see one question, some questions from chat box that people are asking that they can change their major or not. So I can say that you can actually, if you are enough confident, then you can actually change your major. And if you want to get the allowance from the professor, if the professor actually will be accept you for that project, then you can actually come and do work. Like I came from environmental engineering and I am doing nuclear engineering right now. So it's a huge change. So if you're enough confident, you can do it.
Hello, sir. Hello. Sir, all the applications are done in the official website of UST, na, sir?
Yeah. So in the
That is-
our website also will be like, not website, our Telegram link also we'll be sharing all the updates. Actually
So
we
that
are
website
sharing.
is www.ust.sc.kr, na sir?
Yeah.
Hi, Mohammed.
Hello.
Yeah, I have one question. Actually, if we apply now for the IELTS, we can get the result within time of the last date of that UST application date.
Yeah, easily you can get, like the time taken by IELTS is British Council is 16 days maximum. And you can submit the like soft copy in the application. Later you can submit the hard copy. So hard copy takes time to reach your address, but you will get the result in sometime 14 days or 16 days. So if you will choose any like in my case, I will give you example. Like in my case, I had very less time to appear for the exam. So I did not choose for the exam test center to be near to me. I choose the exam test date should be near to means should be the nearest. So I live in Odisha. It is in Bhubaneswar, but the nearest exam which I got was in Vadodara, that is in Gujarat. So after 10 days, the exam I can appear for, and all other places near me were available after 1 month or 2 months. So I went there, gave the exam, and submitted it. So like for if you'll go through YouTube videos also, IELTS is not a tough exam as compared to TOEFL. IELTS is quite easy.
Yeah. So I have one more question.
I would like to add to that. Actually, for IELTS, for UST admission, there is an option that you can submit your IELTS score a bit later than the last date of application. There was an option until now. Maybe in this time, when they announce the admission, then you can actually check in the website. They will post a PDF file mentioning all the details about the admission process. So in that, you can find if that there is they will give an extended deadline for submitting an IELTS score. So actually, you don't have to worry much about that.
Okay, and I have one more question actually. So if we are in a different country, then how to apply for IELTS being an Indian citizen? So is it possible? I mean, the same procedure will be followed.
Anywhere you can apply. Even in Korea, people are giving exams. So it is, you have to go to the British Council website. As per country, you can select your exam center and you can go and appear for it.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Mohammed and Murshid.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. For now, we will stop the questions here. For more questions, you can follow us on the Facebook group and Telegram group. And now I will ask Dr. Lalesh Kumar for the note of thanks. Please, Dr. Lalesh Kumar.
Yeah, a special thanks to all the members, and as a president of Indian Student Research in Korea, we have started this platform in 2019, and we are really happy to see lots of participants today. And a special thanks to Mohammad Saifuddin, Antika Banerjee, and Apurva Gupta, as well as Murshid Sams, for conducting this session. And these sessions can't be possible without help of Sikha Pandey, who is the anchor for this session, and all the things which have been possible today with the help of our Vice President of ISRK, Iqbal Kaji, as well as Executive Director Bihu Jain, and the other members are also present, ISRK members who are very active, Prasant and Manas Biswal, who are just managing all the things in between and answering all the questions during chat room. And further, in the coming sessions, we have 7th March, of 15 March and 21 March. We have other sessions for the different fellowship like KGS, PhD fellowship for institutional PhD, as well as KRF for postdoctorate. And we will cover only this 3 fellowship, and further we will follow IBS and BK postdoctoral fellowship. So to tweet and to know about the much awareness about the scholarship, you can join our ISRK Telegram and Facebook groups, where till date more than 2,500 people have joined. And till date, ISRK have been also benefited to more than 100 PhD students to getting the PhD program in Korea, as well as more than 40 students for getting the postdoctoral fellowship in Korea while getting the informations from the ISRK. So for further twin, I am requesting everyone who have not joined it ISRK, please also consult with the other friends and request them to join ISRK for further discussions. Thank you everyone once again.